In today's video, I'm going to share with you 5 different movie franchises that the Fast and the Furious could totally cross over with. So as I do, let me know in the comments if you think those crossovers would be cool or if they're completely ridiculous. Spoilers, the last one or two are definitely going to be ridiculous. What's up, my dude? Your friendly neighborhood Tony here. And if you like movie reviews, trailer reactions, and ranking videos like this, make sure you subscribe. Okay, so the first movie I want to just take off the list right now. This is not in my top 5 because I feel like everyone has talked about this already. There's been a lot of chatter about them potentially having a crossover with this movie franchise, but I just really don't see it happening. And that is, of course, Jurassic Park. Now look, don't get me wrong, it would be super awesome to see the Fast and the Furious crossover with a movie with a bunch of dinosaurs, but I just don't see how they could do that realistically. And I get that saying realistically in and of itself is a bit of a stretch for any Fast and the Furious movie. But let me know what you think. Do you think Jurassic Park would be a good crossover for the franchise? I'd definitely love to see it, but I just don't see it happening. So let's go ahead and get started with the first movie franchise on my list. And this one is kind of a twofer or a threefer, and it's definitely what I think the most realistic franchise would be. And that is the Fast and the Furious crossing over with Mission Impossible or 007, James Bond, or Jason Bourne, or any of those kind of spy thriller franchises. I mean, we pretty much have already done that with the most recent Fast and the Furious movies. They're already working with secret government organizations and special forces British people. Another kind of spy-ish franchise that would be cool to cross over with is The Transporter, which you already have Jason Statham in the Fast and the Furious universe, and the last Fast and the Furious movie, Fast 10, was directed by the same guy that directed The Transporter 2. So I'm just saying, there are some connections there. And I think it would be super easy for them to do. You just have them be on a particular mission, and oh, turns out 007 is also working that same mission. I mean, it practically writes itself. So yes, my first pick, and probably the easiest, the one that makes the most sense, is going to be any of those spy thriller franchises. So Vin Diesel, if you want to cut me a check now for a finder's fee, just go ahead and let me know in the comments. All right, coming in at number 2, we're going to start to get a little more ridiculous here, but it still totally makes sense. And that would be the Fast and the Furious crossing over with another movie that involves a lot of vehicles and some crazy action sequences, and also those vehicles turning into robots, but that's not the point. That's right, I'm talking about Transformers. This totally makes sense and would definitely work. Now, it is a bit of a stretch, right? You're dealing with alien forces and all of that, but I feel like the styles of the Transformers movies and of the Fast and the Furious movies blend together so well. And it's not that much of a logic leap to say, oh, there's also some cars that can turn into other things. And also, how dope would that scene be? Vin Diesel trying to outrun a bunch of bad guys, and he just like presses a button and all of a sudden his car transforms into a giant robot and starts talking to him. I mean, take all my money. I would absolutely be there day one to watch a Fast and the Furious Transformers crossover. Okay, so speaking of alien robot car Transformers, the third movie franchise in my list also involves some aliens, but hey, we've already been to space in the Fast and the Furious, and maybe during that initial entry into space, Tyrese and Ludacris popped up on the radar of another ship, perhaps the Enterprise. That's right. I'm talking about a Star Trek Fast and the Furious crossover. I'm telling you, man, I've got some gold ideas here. I mean, we've already seen, if you're familiar with a lot of the Star Trek movies, they've gone back in time. They've come to Earth on a number of occasions. And even though part of the Prime Directive is to not interfere with native civilizations, they've definitely done that a bunch of times. So why not interfere with whatever the family has going on? I will admit that one might be a bit of a stretch, but that doesn't make it any less fun. And it's not like I'm saying to cross it over with Star Wars. I mean, that would make no sense whatsoever. We don't even have Earth in the Star Wars universe. But in Star Trek, we definitely do. I mean, Kirk is from Earth. Let's get him back down here and mix it up with the gang. All right, so that's my number 3. Next up at number 4, what would happen if maybe Dominic Toretto was fixing up an old car, and in testing out that car, was driving it down maybe a mall parking lot. And you know Dom, he's got to test out the speed limit on these things. And once he gets to 88 miles per hour in his DeLorean, yeah, that's right, Fast and the Furious, Back to the Future. I think that makes a lot of sense if you think about it. I mean, how many people in the Fast and the Furious franchise have died and come back to life? How are they doing that? If not with time travel. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills here. It totally makes sense. Also, if you've seen the latest Fast and the Furious, there is a new DeLorean that they show in that movie. Maybe they're giving us a hint. If you haven't seen it, the new DeLorean that they're working on, the prototype, looks pretty sick. So we've got a DeLorean. We've got people coming back from the dead left and right. We just got to get Marty McFly and Doc in there and see what we can do. Okay, now before I get to the last one, which I admit is probably the most ridiculous movie franchise in this list, let me know what you think so far in the comments below. Do you think I'm completely out of my mind? Well, yes, I am out of my mind, but do you think these are bad picks? And if so, what other movie franchises would you prefer to see the Fast and the Furious crossover with? And don't say Torque, okay? That movie was terrible. All right, coming in at number 5, the Fast and the Furious franchise I would love to see the most, and also most definitely the most ridiculous movie franchise for it to cross over with. Well, let's put it this way. Dom has a kid, right? And in this most recent movie, there's a scene of him playing PlayStation or whatever video game console he's playing in the movie, and he's playing a Hot Wheels game. I'm sure he's got some Hot Wheels toys. I'm sure he has all kinds of toys. And what would happen if some of those little race car toys came to life? Oh yes, that's right. Fast and the Furious crossover with Toy Story. Dude, I'm telling you right now, you would sell so many Happy Meal toys. Do they still put toys in Happy Meals? I don't know. I mean, cut the check. You're talking video game crossovers. You're talking animated series. The kids would go nuts. And why not? It could totally be like a little side thing. You could get the normal crew to voice act for different characters, or it could just be a little cameo in the next Toy Story movie where you have a cool little lime green colored Supra, maybe voiced by Vin Diesel. I know, it's completely ridiculous, but I think it would be a lot of fun. But of course, let me know what you think in the comments below. These are just my picks. That doesn't mean they're the best picks. And of course, if you want to see more videos like this, more movie reviews, ranking videos, trailer reactions, all that good stuff, make sure you subscribe. All right, I'll catch you in the next one. Be good.